Here's Johnny. Thank you, Ed. Well, hello there. Hey, hi, everybody. Social media family. Then of any subscribers and visitors alike, of any persons among yourselves who are affiliated or associated with and are representing my own particular YouTube social media channel and a chat room, or likewise chat room. That's it. Channel and a chat room, or in other words, likewise comment section. Sorry about that, you all. Prince of Peace continue to regulate my mind compared to how the Prince of Darkness attempts to confuse my speech. And moving right on. How y'all doing though? And for that matter, how are your loved ones or family members and friends? Your different households. Hopefully everyone is doing at least okay. It's not better yet to be said, and I'll stay for the record, all right. But not best of all to be put like this here. As many of your persons can or could possibly claim to feel blessed and stressed, more blessed and stressed, or too blessed to possibly come or be stressed. You and yours, family, friends, and me and mine for that matter. And moving right along. Once again, I say. Anyway, though, I guess I myself personally feel okay. Well, hopefully much better than what I had felt like before. And although it could possibly, like say, become or be a part of the program or plans for my own personal survival to possibly pay another visit, just another routine visit to another local vicinity area neighborhood community hospital, and then to possibly and probably have to do follow-up at a local vicinity area neighborhood community clinic, being of which would be affiliated or associated with and are representing the same of the said in question. The former, previous, or prior mentioned, and due to complications with, or as I suspect that certain neighbors, being the likes of the proverbial neighbors from damn hell, not just the worst, but the worstest ones yet within not just one of the worst, but in one of the worstest area neighborhood communities, within city limits, could possibly be the root cause or the mainly or mostly the reason why I myself had become subject to experiencing that of the most recent battles with general physical health issues, being of which could possibly affect my mental health as well. That's indeed. Well, we can find some of the other matter come to mind, and in good God, on reference to reflect some of the that I had last mentioned, where one of the neighbors from damn hell, being of the main one, either is moving out or has moved out of the building. Thank God for that. The main neighbor from down hell being a local drug pusher, who, like, whereas his apartment is positioned a few apartment doors down from that of my own upon the same floor level in the building here. And believe it or not, I was, kind of developing that the inspired notion to play the part of a super Christian. Believe it or not, I kid you not. I do not lie. As God is my witness. And to forgive him of any, every, and all wrongdoings. And that is include not even so or equal as well, but especially as I myself, being my person otherwise, suspect that he himself, with or without any accomplices in crime of homies of his, could have possibly, that is taking it to another level, being of his daily and nightly harassment, intimidation, persecution, or terrorizing and traumatizing me by possibly having not just worse yet, but worse of all, could have possibly trespassed my premises, properties of a place of residence, of apartment, whereas it would have been bad enough if he himself had contemplated and then from there literally actually, perpetrated an act is that being orchestrated, initiated, and perpetrated something along that line of thought, being of a legal criminal nature while I'm gone from the building, trying to and from my apartment, trying to from my apartment, a place of residence for his premises property, where I pay annual monthly rent, utilities, etc. And while going out in the streets trying to take care of some necessary personal business matters for my own survival, than to think that worse, yes, he himself could have possibly trespassed my premises of property as a place of residence apartment, with or without any accomplices in crime of homies, while I'm here trying to get my beauty rest, some Z's or some sleep. And because there are times I have woke up and I felt like somebody has violated my person. Between eyes filling blanks, especially if, like, say, for example, I'm noticing marks on my physical body that should not be there, like, yeah, and then some. Yeah, but anyway, though, I just thought to share this with you all, because I was willing to forgive him, but now he's moved out. Well, regardless, at least I would have done my part, try to make amends, and this is regardless of how he himself had continued to assume that he had a legit personal vendetta against me. No, against my person. And whereas I have never done or said anything to him wrong to, warrant and or justify himself having started all this up with me to begin with, all this nonsense on his part. Generating all these negative vibes of hostility or hatred, harassment, intimidation, persecution, or traumatizing me as well as terrorizing me, or terrorizing, traumatizing me with his daily 2-cent power plays, or typically harass, intimidate, and persecute, traumatize, or terrorize and traumatize me. Prince of Peace continue to beg in my mind compared to other Prince of Darkness. Attempts to confuse my feet. Whereas all I ever done was complain to the management of the building, real estate administrative representative personnel, and not to mention the police whenever he would threaten my life. Whereas I complained to them how he would cause me to lose sleep and wake up late and start my day off late with his late night criminal activities, and whereas there's one or two back doors to the building, he would go in and out of more than the other one. Mainly, mostly the one next to my own apartment door, and I would consider that to be a violation of his apartment rule lease, as well as equal as well as it disrespects my rights and privileges as his fellow neighbor of another resident or tenant, paying monthly annual monthly rent, utilities, etc. I mean, just a number of 2-cent power plays he would go about with, ever since I complained to the management of the building, and not to mention then to the police. That's when he threatened my life. It's been off to the races, And I say his 2-cent power plays, from following me into the business office of the management, real estate administrative representative personnel, and with all I'm doing is going in there to take care of the necessary business at hand, as some so give him time, being which is to renew my apartment rental lease agreement, regardless of whether or not I would have to report him again for daily and nightly harassment, intimidation, persecution of me, or his daily and nightly attempts to terrorize and traumatize my personal wife. And whereas she followed me into the business office, the management of administrative real estate representative personnel, and then from there attempted to flip the script and say that I was making him feel uncomfortable, like he's the target of prey. And I myself am the predator parasite of a low-life scumbag riffraff. Cocksucker! That's what I mean to say. No, I have to scratch that. I'm trying to get right with God, believe it or not. And thus we have the name title to the present social media broadcast of video content, being which will complement the same. The same question. Form for you to prime me. Yeah. Of a subject matter. Topic of discussion to be debated of a given argument with many different views and opinions to be affiliated, associated with, and represented there. But then, as a backtrack, here review the first bid, and also I go on to probably to continue from where my person had last left off, so I can finish up as and complete the form of previous prior line. Oh, the same similar soul sense of word. And then there's a question of how he himself had at one time or another was sitting out on a stoop outside the building, in the dead of night, and just come back from a hospital, and he's threatening my life verbally, mouthing off to me what he could have done to me. Be he himself would do it personally, or have some such accomplices in crime of homies of his helping to do so. So I felt offended, not to mention threatened, and so I called the police on him by dialing the emergency number of 911 for police assistance. For that, still one of the human rights violations or hate crime in his own right, to at one time or another, he had, rode his bicycle, bike to simply say, up on me, whereas he was just a few inches away from my physical body. He rode up behind me or in back of my person, then rode alongside of me and didn't bother to say excuse me. So that told me right then and there that is whereas he himself had done or did that on purpose. And please do forgive, excuse, or pardon me for butchering the English language or the American dialect as we have it, of our own adopted native tongue, with all of its grammatical usages, quality and quantities. But anyway, though, and getting back to some such other, And then there was the time that he had ran down the sidewalk behind me and back of my person, as I myself am trying to think of it with my intention to become a part of the ridership of a mass transit or public transportation system with all of these many different bus and train routes, as I was trying to commute while trying to think of it with my intention to enter the local vicinity area neighborhood community train station right across the street from the building. And here he comes, whereas from there I'm having to take a detour. As a result of developments as that being, where she's running down the sidewalk in back or behind me, in back of my person, with one hand in his coat or jacket pocket, or whatever I said, regardless of whatever the season of the calendar year was supposed to have been at that given time, be it where it had been for, winter or summer. And, like he's packing heat, ready to snuff my lights out, and a compliment old vintage classic pop culture song number, Slipping in the Darkness, or where he is ready to take my life, with a loaded 6-shooter. From there, I'm having to take a detour and catch a bus much rather instead, To how at one time or another, he did pretty much so the same thing, similar or just as devastating, equal as well. Whereas I'm coming back from still another hospital after having been treated by doctors and nurses, licensed physicians for a physical ailment, malady, or illness. And whereas he's standing in the front entrance and exit way of the building. And whereas from there, once again, I'm having to take a detour, change my mind, enter via the back way, the boy, a conflict of interest with him, And he must have ran from the front to the back of the building. Then, because here it is, I barely made it into my apartment and closed and locked my apartment door. Whereas he's standing outside of it, and whereas he would go in and out of one or two back doors to the building, mainly mostly one next to my apartment door. Regardless of how this back door needs repairs, because a lock mechanism is jammed, so therefore he would prop something in between the door and the border to make sure that he can come and go as easily as he pleases, via through that one particular back door as easily as he could the other one that does not need any repairs, where you can just slip your that's what I meant to say, building key in and come and go as you please, enter and exit, and then use your apartment key to enter your own place of residence otherwise. Boy, that was your property. But anyway, though, he's standing outside my apartment door. I barely made it in. And, and likewise, let me say it on stage for the record that I barely managed to successfully get off an emergency telephone call by dialing the emergency life crisis tail number of 911 to alert the local police authorities that there is trouble in paradise, And all the while I'm recharging myself. So that's what I've had to go to. There's a number of others, incidents. But then I think you all get the idea of what I'm trying to say. But one time, for that matter, among others, incidents been which I have not mentioned, but are to be equated with the ones been which I had mentioned. Whereas at one time or another, he's saying to me, I got something for you. So I'm like thinking from there, well, let me get on my cell phone and call the local police so they could check out what you got for me, Like he's packing heat or something, 6 shooter. But then he has moved out, and I was willing to play the part of super Christian, forgive him. Not that I would be having anything to do with him much, or maybe a little, but hopefully I will refrain from having much to do with him, or as little to do with him as possible until I would get on elsewhere. But here it is now. He's moved out to the West. I want to move out. Let him rot here in a neighborhood that he's familiar with, comfortable with, being the one that is poverty-stricken and crime-ridden, compared to how I myself, then my person on the other hand, am more familiar with a neighborhood that is less poverty-stricken, less impoverished, has less food deserts, and less crime-ridden. And likewise, not mainly or mostly one ethnic minority, the non-whites, but a multiracial neighborhood community at that, compared to where I'm at now. Or poverty-stricken, crime-ridden, and predominantly ethnic minority one. I just thought I should share that with you all. You all take care and be safe, be blessed, not stressed. If you haven't gotten Christ's salvation, I would hope that you would think this. So now, I recognize what he did on cross Calvary so that you can become a citizen in the kingdom of heaven, get the only fire insurance against the lake of fire of damn hell. You all take care and be blessed. We out. Peace.